Jeff Slauson here from 19 News Now at the 19 News Digital Desk with a very sad breaking news alert here. We unfortunately are ready to announce that Jim Brown, legendary Cleveland Browns running back, played his entire 8-year career with the Browns, has been named and many people say is the greatest running back in NFL history, has died at the age of 87. I was trying to pull up here for you all. There we go. It's going to load there. Nope, it's not going to load, so we'll pull it up for you here. From the Cleveland Browns, their statement. There we go. Okay. The Cleveland Browns have tweeted out, quote, "Jim Brown forever, legend, leader, activist, visionary. It's possible to describe the profound love and gratitude we feel for having the opportunity to be a small piece of Jim's incredible life and legacy. We mourn his passing, but celebrate the indelible light he brought to the world. Our hearts are with Jim's family, loved ones, and all those he impacted along the way." In addition to that, his wife posting onto Instagram this, which says, and I quote, "It's with profound sadness that I announce the passing of my husband, Jim Brown. He passed peacefully last night at our LA home. To the world, he was an activist, actor, and football star. To our family, he was a loving and wonderful husband, father, and grandfather. Our hearts are broken." Again, re-racking our breaking news here. Cleveland Browns legendary running back, some say the greatest running back in NFL history, has died at the age of 87. Here at 19 News, we are going to continue to monitor and follow the breaking news of the day here and continue to bring different unique perspectives on this. Brown is a man who touched many here in the Cleveland area. He went to Syracuse University and from there was drafted by the Cleveland Browns and then ultimately ended up with the organization for quite some time. This is Jim Brown in his later years here. Now, we can't show you game footage from him due to copyright issues with the NFL. However, Brown was still very involved with the Cleveland Browns throughout his time. Still very much so a mainstay in the area. He died in Los Angeles, California, but was around the team for quite some time. He finished with some insane statistics. More than 12,000 career rushing yards, 106 rushing touchdowns, 20 receiving touchdowns, and leading many categories. He then went on to a fairly long acting career, being in many different roles as far as movies and TV shows. And then, in his later years, was very much so a mainstay with the Cleveland Browns. Again, for those that are just joining us here, Cleveland Browns legendary running back Jim Brown has died. Brown's family announced this on social media. He was a civil rights activist and a legendary running back for the Cleveland Browns here. I'm going to be reading for you a statement from the Haslams, the owners of the team. It's a pretty long statement. Let me see if I can put this in somewhere. Please hold. Sorry, as this is breaking news, we are just trying to get as much as we can into this. Let's see, quote, here we go. Okay, so if you give me 1 second here, I'll be able to put this full quote in there, hopefully. I don't know if it's going to work. All right, I'm just going to read this for you all here. The Haslam said, and I quote, "Jim Brown is a true icon of not just the Cleveland Browns, but the entire NFL. He was certainly the greatest to ever put on a Browns uniform and arguably one of the greatest players in NFL history. Jim was one of the reasons," they continue to say, "Jim was one of the reasons the Browns have such a tremendous fan base today. So many people grew up watching him just dominate every time he stepped onto the field. But his countless accolades on the field only tell a small part of his story. His commitment to making a positive impact for all of humanity off the field is what he should be known for. In the time we've spent with Jim," this is the Haslam speaking again, "especially when we first became a part owner of the Browns, we learned so much from him about the unifying force sports can be and how to use sports as a vehicle for change while making a positive impact in the community. Jim broke down barriers just as he broke tackles. He fought for civil rights, brought athletes from all different sports together to be able to use their platform for good. Many thought Jim Brown retired from football too soon, but he always did it his way. From the football field to Hollywood to his work in athlete activism, Jim always played the leading role. His devotion to fighting racial injustice, improving education for youth, and positively affecting the many lives he has through the Amer I Can program has left a lasting legacy well beyond all the accomplishments on the field. Jim Brown is the Cleveland Browns, and our thoughts and prayers are with his wife, Monique, his children, his entire family, as well as those who mourn the loss. Looking at some more statements here, and again, as you can see, the Pro Football Hall of Fame also releasing a statement. I'm reading these directly here. Again, breaking news, so we're just trying to give you the information that we get as we can. Hall of Fame President Jim Porter saying that when Jim's name was announced in a room, other Hall of Famers stood and applauded. His persona has stood the test of time, a fearless and dominant football player. Jim will always be remembered as one of pro football's greatest individuals. Again, Jim Brown has passed away, age 87, legendary Cleveland Browns running back. His wife announcing on Instagram the death of her husband. So he played for the Browns for, it was 8 seasons, I believe. He was drafted number 1, 6th overall pick in 1957 by the Browns. He played just 118 games, but still ranks among the all-time leading running backs in rushing average. He was 3rd. Rushing touchdowns, he's 6th. And rushing yards, he's 11th. Led the NFL in rushing in 8 of his 9 seasons. He led the league in touchdowns in 5 seasons. If you go to Cleveland Browns Stadium, there's a statue of him outside of it. Founded the Amer I Can program in 1988. That program works with schools, prisons, and communities across the country. And been named to all decade teams, to all NFL teams, enshrined at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1971, the National Lacrosse Hall of Fame in 1984, College Football Hall of Fame, 1995. His number's been retired. He also wore the legendary number 44 at Syracuse University, which is only for those that show exemplary character and exemplary athleticism. Ernie Davis, another one who famously wore that number as well. He wore it due to his love for Jim Brown. Just continuing on as we... Do you hear me? Okay. And lastly, I'll just show I'll show a tweet from the NFL here as we let's see here. Yep, this right here. Okay. This is from the NFL. They tweeted out, "We are heartbroken by the passing of legendary Jim Brown, one of the greatest players in NFL history, a true pioneer and activist. Jim Brown's legacy will live on forever." You can also see on the right-hand side there of Twitter, RIP the GOAT is currently trending. That clearly dedicated to Jim Brown. Again, legend Cleveland Browns running back, one of the best running backs in NFL history. All right, we are going to continue to follow this breaking news today. I'm going to go hop on TV right now with Mark Schwab. We're going to break things down, read some statements, things like that. But very tough day for Cleveland sports fans today. Jim Brown dies at age 87. Brown, known as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, running backs in NFL history, spent his entire 9-year career with the Browns, has died at his Los Angeles home. He was 87 years old. Much more on this tonight on 19 News as we continue our breaking news coverage.
19 News, now streaming on Samsung Smart TV.